Hey everybody, this is Dave on CRPG Dungeons and Dragons Night, and this is Wizardry Story of Lilgamin, which is the first 3 games in the Wizardry series. It's a upgrade of the original PC games made for the SNES, and it was only released in Japan. But a few friends of mine were able to find me a copy and a translation for it, so we're going to try it like this. Okay. Since I can't seem to find the original versions anywhere. Okay. And here we go. We got 1, 2, and 3. Proving Grounds, Legacy of Lilgamin, and Knight of Diamonds. Which, I thought it was the other way around, but okay, whatever. Because I always thought these two were... But, yeah, in Japan, apparently, they got them in a different order. But, that's fine. We'll play them like that. Oh, I guess that was the wrong button. Anyway, we go to the select switch here. Okay, yeah, as you can see, it was in English here. And it's basically the same commands as the original game anyway. It's just I'm not using direct keyboards to get anywhere. And we can change the scenario. I'm not understanding the buttons here. Alright, that's all in English. Yeah, it's been translated all to English. That's what I was trying to show you guys. Okay. There. That's in English as well now. And these ones I'm supposed to leave alone, because those are all the extra goodies that we want to keep on, so... And we go to here. We just want to make sure everything is in English for later on, and I don't have to deal with it later. Okay. Okay. So, let's see how it plays out. So, okay, this is all in English now. Like with the original game, we want to go to the edge of the town, go to the training grounds. Let's see, create, inspect, delete, change name. Let's see what we have on here right now. Well, yeah, those are still in the Japanese names. But that's fine because we can put that all to English again. Which is, you know, Fighter 1, Fighter 2. I think that's Cleric 1 and Cleric 2 and 3. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, Fighter, Fighter, Priest, Thief, Mage, Mage. And all their names are exactly that. So it just goes Fighter 1, Fighter 2, Priest 1, Thief 1, Mage 1, Mage 2. But we're going to delete all those, because we're not going to use a single one of them. Now we go into create, and yeah, it's in English now. Because I watched it, I tried it a little earlier, and everything was in Japanese. And a friend of mine gave me a program to throw in there to translate everything. And I got this off of Vim Vault, I think it was called. So that's this. Okay, and we're going to leave this now because I don't want to get too far into it. Yeah, I don't want to get too far into it. So what we are going to do is put this over here so you don't see anything on accident I don't want you to see. That might get me in trouble. Not necessarily saying there's porn or anything, but I do have stuff on the computer I'd rather not have shown to the public. And what I'm going to be using for the manual read is the Ultimate Wizardry Archives, which is basically the first 7 games manuals thrown into the mix. And I do believe I read from this before, for him. So I'm going to read Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, which is generally, it's all the same anyway. So, other than command switches, but generally all the commands are the same, all the spells are the same. The story is the same. And the maps, from what I've been told, are not the NES versions, but are the original PC versions. So that's good to know when I start looking up walkthroughs for maps when I start getting lost. Anyway, so we got, yeah, here we got it a different order. It's Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, Knight of Diamonds, Legacy of Logamin. I'm not sure really how to pronounce that. I've always said Logamin, so. But that's all fine. We'll play it in the order that they put it for the Japanese version. It should pretty much play the same anyway. Okay, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, 1981 to 1987. Special Effects Department, pauses for thought. Okay. Now these were the original playtesters. Now we get a little bit of story here. Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. Ugh, okay, I might want to zoom that up a little bit. Let's see here. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Now we can read. Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. It was in the fall of the 5th year of the fanatical wizard Werdna that our campaign began. What season or year it is now, none of us knows. I believe we are in the 9th level of this accursed maze. But time and distance are ever shifting, and reality is fleeting. As we break camp, my 5 companions and I sort out our weapons and supplies. We have accumulated wondrous treasures and mighty weapons. Dreams of returning to enjoy the subtle pleasures that this shared booty would bring fill our wakeful sleep. Sesmar, the samurai, Sarah, the priest, and I, a ninja, are the vanguard. Morden, the thief, Prospero, the mage, and Tuck, the bishop, bring up the rear. Already I'm having problems with this because how is a samurai and a ninja in the same group? Or am I thinking lords? I might be thinking lords. Also bishops? I'm not quite sure about bishops as well. We slowly make our way down the zigzagging corridors. Suddenly, the eldritch light cast by Sarah's Lamilwa spell reveals a secret door. Kicking the door open, we charge into a small room. Unfortunately, the hellhounds, demons, and dilly creeping coins do not welcome company. A fierce battle ensues that shakes the very foundation of the maze. I slay one demon with my bare hands, while Sesmar dispatches hellhounds with his Muramasa blade. The tide of battle turns and twists in the kaleidoscope of weapons and mystical energies. Finally, Prospero ends it. While Sarah shields us behind a meporific spell, Prospero casts the dreaded Tilt-A-Weight. We are victorious. Bare, magic-blasted walls hardly reward our heroic effort. Our luck suddenly takes a dramatic turn downward. The secret chute masks the hidden entrance to the 10th level. The final path to Werdna's lair is open. As we are standing around, slapping each other on the back, the air is pierced with a maniacal laugh. Werdna waits. Sobered, we regroup, heal our wounds, and set out again. We have no delusions. Our greatest challenge lies ahead. Resolutely raising our banner high, we stealthily tiptoe forward. We quickly vanish into the Stygian darkness. Momentarily, our banner shines with the gold and silver dragon of Hawkwind's hunters. Then it too vanishes as distant sounds of battle reverberate. Book 1, Chapter 9, The Chronicles of Hawkwind. Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. Journey to the Land of Wizardry. The Wizardry program is truly magical. It allows your computer to open a portal into a world far removed from today's high-tech living. And this is back in 81. Their brave warriors do battle with evil wizards and fearsome monsters for riches beyond compare. It is a place where careful planning and strategy are more important than mere reflexes. You will be able to create and captain a party of stalwart adventurers about whose adventures the troubadours will sing epics for years hence. Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord is only the main module of an extensive series of scenarios. Each scenario will take you deeper into the legend and lore of Wizardry World. The characters and skills that you develop in Proving Grounds will carry forward into other programs. So hone your talents well as Knight of Diamonds, Legacy of Logamin, The Return of Wordna, The Heart of a Maelstrom, Band of the Cosmic Forge, Crusaders of the Dark Savant, and Wizardry Gold await. And Wizardry Gold was a remake of Crusaders of the Dark Savant. But this was actually, I guess this was written after the fact of the other games, so this was an updated version of the manual. Oh well, in times to come, many other new scenarios will enrich your wizardry experience and challenge your leadership skills. Wizardry is not just a single game to play and put away, it is fantasy role-playing at its finest, with years of campaigning ahead of you. Journey now to Wizardry and let your imagination flow through the screen into a world of magic and adventure. And here we got a funny little picture. Characters. Each Wizardry character is a unique individual with strengths, weaknesses, and special abilities. A character is portrayed in the game by hundreds of separate pieces of information, each of which is influenced by the action that the characters perform. Statistics. Statistics are basic measures of character abilities to do things. The higher the statistic, the better the character's performance. Strength affects your skill in combat. IQ and piety influence your ability to cast and resist spells. Vitality affects your ability to withstand damage. Agility helps you avoid attacks and open treasure chests. Luck comes to your aid in many mysterious ways. Characteristics. Characteristics are descriptions of the physical, emotional, and intellectual makeup of your character. Race is the most important. Wizardry characters can belong to one of 5 races. Each race has different strengths and weaknesses, most visibly reflected in the minimum ability values. Statistics for each race. Humans excel at nothing but have no particular weaknesses except for a decided lack of piety. Elves are intelligent and pious but not very robust. They excel in intellectual pursuits and are excellent spellcasters. Dwarves are strong and hardy. They love fine weapons and armor and delight in a good fight. Gnomes are pious and agile, probably from praying underground during earthquakes. Due to their ascetic traditions, they make excellent priests. Hobbits are agile and very, very lucky. They are happy-go-lucky people, and with the right training become superb thieves. Alignment describes your character's general ethical outlook. Good characters are really good. They go out of their way to help old ladies cross the street. Neutral characters take life as it comes. They would help an old lady cross the street if they are traveling in the same direction. Evil characters not really evil when compared to some of the things they fight in the maze. They are self-centered and always want to know what's in it for them. Evil characters help old ladies cross the street for a small fee. Note, in the above we are assuming the adventurer as male as we may sometimes do this in this guidebook. Wizardry is a non-sexist game, however, English is a sexist language. Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. Apparently they had some problems with people complaining about the manual being sexist. Who knew? Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. Other characteristics include hit points, which describes how much damage a character can tolerate before death, and armor class, which describes how well protected the character is. Possessions. Possessions are objects that characters own. Gold is a very important possession when your character begins life. He has a pittance, probably won in a lottery, barely enough to buy some simple armor and a few paltry weapons. As your character explores the maze, he will find great riches and gold, which may be used to purchase better items. Lodging, and perhaps occasionally acquired the services of a high priest to cure, heal, or even resurrect a friend. Gathering and maintaining the best possible set of items is a major pastime for wizardry adventurers, as they can make the difference between life and death. The number and variety of items found in wizardry may be a little bewildering at first. We won't tell you how the items work, but do offer some general guidelines here. First of all, not all items may be used by every character. Some items may be used only by specific character classes. You'll also learn what works by practice and experience. For example, mages may not use armor, shields, or swords, or maces. Wow, I'm having a hard time reading today. Hello, viewer. How are you doing this morning? Also, some items have an alignment just as your characters do. If your character equips an item that has a different alignment, the item will seriously impair him. In addition, it will become cursed. A cursed item is any item that cannot be voluntarily unequipped. If you equip such an item, you will be cursed to wear it. Cursed items are not always bad for you. Some of the better items in the game like to stick around. The only safe way to rid a character of a cursed item is to pay to have it removed at Baltic's trading post. Some items may be used to cast spells. Each time you use the item to cast a spell, there is a chance it will break. Generally, scrolls and potions can only be used once, while rods and staves may work a dozen times. Items may affect a character even though they are not equipped. They can do things just because they are being carried around. Finally, certain magic items have special powers which you can evoke. When you try to equip yourself with one of these items, you will be asked if you wish to invoke its power. And here we got weapons sticking around. Experience. Experience is a measure of the character's mettle and abilities. As tested in the real world, where the abilities and characteristics describe the character's potential, perhaps the best way to measure the ability of a character to help the party is by the number of experience points he has earned. A character can gain experience points only through the test of steel, in real combat with a mortal enemy. After each combat, every surviving member of the party will receive an award of experience points. The amount they get depends on the difficulty of the combat. Since the experience award is divided amongst the survivors of the battle, if you manage to defeat a formidable group of monsters with only a few adventurers, they will each get considerably more experience points. As the character gains experience points, certain thresholds will be passed, depending upon his or her class. When the number of experience points are obtained, your character is said to have made the next level. When a character makes a level, his statistics and characteristics change, usually for the better. Class. The character's class is sort of a job description. It describes what the character has trained himself to be. A character always belongs to one class and under certain circumstances can change his class. Characters start their careers in one of the basic classes and usually chooses an elite profession when they become more powerful. Each class has special requirements as to minimum abilities, alignment, and allowed possession of its members. A complete list of the entrance requirements for each of the classes can be found on page 22. The 4 basic classes. Fighter, the basic man-at-arms. Fighters have high hit points, can use any armor and weapon, and relish their role as shock troops. They may be of any alignment. Mage, the sorcerer. Mages have poor hit points, can use only daggers and staffs as weapons, and can wear no armor except for robes. They can cast mage spells and may be of any alignment. Priest, the Holy One. Priests have fairly high hit points, and although they cannot wear helmets, they use almost any armor or shield. Priests do not fare as well in combat as fighters, excuse me, and must use specially consecrated weapons such as maces and flails. Priests have unusual abilities, however. In addition to casting priest spells, they can dispel the undead, skeletons and zombies, for example. Priests may not be of neutral alignment. Thief. The trickster. Thieves have average hit points. Their weapons are limited to daggers or short swords. They can wear leather armor and use a shield. Thieves are very good at circumventing the noxious treasure chest traps, which often lie between a party of adventurers and their hard-earned loot. They may not be of good alignment. Here we got a picture of them. We got the thief, the fighter, the mage, and the priest. The 4 elite classes. The combination of priest and mage with some advantages and disadvantages of both. Bishops have average hit points, can wear leather armor, and use priest weapons. They can cast both mage and priest spells, although they do not learn them as quickly as the other classes do. Bishops start learning mage spells immediately, but must reach the 4th level of ability before acquiring knowledge of priest spells. Bishops are capable of identifying magical items, and thus they can avoid the hefty charge levied for that service and Boltec's trading post. Like priests, bishops may not be neutral. Samurai. These folk are fantastic warriors, can use all fighting weapons and armor. They start out life with more hit points than fighters. In the long run, though, a fighter will have better hit points. With 4th level ability, samurai slowly begin to learn mage spells. The strict code of Bushido prevents samurai from being of evil alignment. I knew that. That's why I was going to question ninja, because I think they can only be of evil alignment. So how the two of them are in a party together, I have no idea. Because they're not supposed to be together. Evil and good never work together in the game. At least that I'm aware of. Lord, a combination of fighter and priest. They have the hit points and abilities of fighters, but at the 4th level of ability, they gain the ability to cast priest spells and the ability to dispel. Lords must be of good alignment. Ninja. The superhuman. Oh, you cannot be of good alignment, but the neutral. So yeah, samurais can't be neutral. I forgot about that. So they can be together. My mistake. I had to think about that. Ninja, a superhuman fighting machine. Ninja can use any weapon or armor, but work best without any. When fighting with their bare hands, they can wreak havoc and destruction, sometimes killing the strongest opponent with a single blow. As long as they disdain armor, their great training gives them lower and lower armor class as they reach higher and higher levels of ability. Ninjas earn hit points as does a thief, and learn no spells. Finally, they must be evil. Spells. Spells are magical formulas that allow the caster to bend the physical laws of the universe. There are 2 basic categories of spells, mage and priest. Within each category there are 7 levels of spells, from weak level 1 spells to the powerful level 7 spells. Each character has a spell book, which lists all spells they are able to cast. For a character to be able to cast a particular spell, he needs to have that spell in his book, and he needs a spell point with which to cast it. So in order to cast a 3rd level mage spell, Mahalito, the character must have the spell in his spell book, and would need a 3rd level mage spell point. Characters learn new spells by making levels in classes that teach spells. If they later change their class, they will retain the knowledge of the spells they have learned so far, but won't learn new spells until their new classes also teaches spells. Here we got a lord, and he's got a halo, a ninja spying on the lord, a samurai, looks more like a cowboy, and a bishop, I guess. Okay, there is a minor exception in this rule. If a character knows at least one spell of a particular character, category, and level, then he will eventually learn all the spells of that category and level, even if he changes to a class that doesn't learn spells. For every spell you know, you are granted at least one spell point with which to cast it. Thus, if you know 3 first-level mage spells, 2 second-level mage spells, and 1 third-level mage spell, you have at least 3 first-level magic mage spell points, 2 second-level mage spell points, and 1 third-level mage spell point. If you are currently a member of a spellcasting class, you may gain extra points based upon what level you have attained. You can never have more than 9 points in any category or level. Points are reset to their current maximum value each time you enter the maze for an adventure. It's assumed you got a good night's sleep and studied your books over breakfast. Each time you cast a spell, you lose points of the appropriate category and level. When you have none left, you cannot throw your category and level of spell again without going back to the castle to rest. If you know 3 spells of a certain category and level and have 3 points of that category and level, you can cast one spell 3 times, or each of the spells once, or any combination. Okay, now we got the places. Your adventurers spend time in one of 2 places, the castle or the maze. The castle. The castle is a safe haven where your adventurers can train, rest, and lick their wounds, be ripped off by the shopkeeper, or even resurrected from the grave. The castle encompasses 5 locations which provide special services to the Wizardry player. These are the training grounds, Gilgamesh's Tavern, Boltek's Trading Post, the Temple of Cant, and the Adventurer's Inn. The training grounds is located just outside the castle. Rings with the sound of swords clashing and timid battle cries. A closer inspection shows youngsters hitting pels with wooden blades, and many of the battle cries turn into yelps when the blade bounces back and hits them. It is here that you create your new novice characters and inspect veteran characters who are standing around shouting encouragement and other things to the novices. Gilgamesh's Tavern is dim and smoke-filled from the haunch of a boar roasting slowly over the fire. Small groups of adventurers talk in low tones around deeply scarred wooden tables. Here is where you hope to find a team capable of surviving the arduous rigors of the maze. And here we have a picture of the castle. It says, "Post no bills." Boltek's Trading Post is the commercial center of the castle. It is owned and operated by a friendly dwarf named Boltek. Like all dwarves, Boltek likes gold and will sell you your own arms, not your armaments, your arms, if you can get away with it. Here, the spoils from the 100 forays find their dubious way to sell. The place has all the equipment you need to make it your one-stop shopping center, and is open around the clock for your adventuring convenience. Temple of Cant is the first stop whenever a party brings back characters who are dead, paralyzed, or similarly distressed. If the high priest of the temple can do anything to help you, the poor devil you've hauled in, they will tell you what tithe is required. But since the fees expected by the clergy are rather high these days, it is likely that afflicted person may not be able to afford the donation, so be prepared to help him out. Poisoned characters are automatically cured when they return to the castle from the maze. Lost characters are beyond mortal help and are given a free burial. The Adventurer's Inn offers several important amenities for your character. To being with, staying in the inn overnight or longer can help you recuperate from rough fights with monsters by restoring some or all of your hit points you've lost in combat. If you accumulated enough experience points to qualify you for a higher experience level, checking into the inn will let you learn of your success and provide details about the changes in your character's statistics. Otherwise, you will be told how many more experience points you need to increase your level. The changes in your character's statistics may enable you to change from character class to another. Go to the training grounds and use the change class option. On to the maze. The maze is where the adventurers go in search of monsters to kill, loot to borrow, and clues to help determine the whereabouts of the evil wizard. As the characters become more proficient, they will be able to adventure for longer periods of time and penetrate deeper into the maze. Eventually, they may come face to face with their nemesis, Werdna. The mission. Trebor, the mad overlord, was not always mad, merely power-crazed. Several years ago, he had obtained a fabled amulet, whose awesome powers were the subject of many legends. As he sat in his throne room gloating over the empire that this amulet would bring him, a great incapacitating fear gripped him. When the terror had passed, a trembling Trebor no longer held the amulet. Only one wizard could cast such a terrible spell, his arch-nemesis, the evil wizard Werdna. How was Trebor to find him and get back the amulet? The answer arrived swiftly, the very next day when the earth groaned and the castle rocked from side to side. For to taunt his enemy, Werdna used the amulet to carve out the ground below the castle a 10-level monster or fortress maze. Secure in the vast depths surrounded by monsters most foul, Werdna to this day still plumbs the secrets of the amulet to some unknown purpose. The shock of all these events completely unhinged Trebor. He became thoroughly paranoid and strove to protect himself with an elite guard of the best characters in each class while plotting on how to get the amulet back. Trebor, though, is also well known for killing two birds with one stone, or any other handy weapon. He quickly turns the front of Werdna's mazes below his castle into an asset by declaring that these were the special proving grounds he had ordered built. He told his subject that these mazes would form the perfect place to train the bodyguards he needed and quite possibly recover the amulet at the same time. Needless to say, any adventurers who did recover the amulet will be immediately inducted into his elite guard, by force if need be. This, then, is the situation where your characters are thrust into. With a little luck, they will map the maze, maul the monsters, make off with some of the goodies, find the amulet, and only get killed a few times while doing it. Okay, these are instructions we really don't need to get into. Almost all ask you what you want to do. The program display menu of options, for example. Yeah, making some. Yeah, we don't really need to do that. Yeah, we don't need to worry about making a scenario disk. Moving about. The castle contains a variety of locations which you can get to by selecting from a menu. Some of the locations are reached by going to Edge of Town. Yeah, you pretty much saw it in the PC version. You just hit the first word of the sentence to get where you wanted to go. So, but in our case, we just point and click with the cross buttons and the A, B, and whatnot. If the location is inside the walls, you can enter it directly. If outside, you must first go through the edge of town. From the main menu of the castle, go to the edge of town. The next menu appears. Go to the training grounds. This is to create a character, by the way. And you got the options of create a character, inspect a character, roster of characters. Excuse me. And you start to create. Next, choose a name for the character, which we saw that. If you want to put a password on the character, type one in. You have to remember the password. Okay, well, yeah, they got. Oh, and Durf the dwarf. Durf. Okay, I shouldn't do that. That's mean. Now you must choose your character's race and alignment. For each, you will be given a menu of choices. Simply press the letter associated with your choice. The next selection concerns the characteristics statistics. Your new character will qualify for admission into one of more of the 8 classes on the basics of their statistics. Based upon your choices and... yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to skim through this now because, it's using a lot of the keywords that we're not going to use. Fighters need 11 strength, mages need 11 IQ, priests need 11 piety, thieves need 11 agility, bishops need 12 IQ, Samurai need 12 strength, 11 IQ, 10 piety, 14 vitality, and 10 agility and may not be evil. Lords need 15 strength, 12 IQ, 12 piety, 15 vitality, 14 agility, and 15 luck. They must be good. Ninjas need 17 and all their statistics can only be evil. You will never get enough bonus points to create a lord or ninja. Eventually, the statistics of one of your characters will rise high enough for you to qualify for these classes, and you will be able to change the class. This is explained later in the section. The training grounds, you got the roster of characters and inspect your character. Well, that character got deleted. Changing class. Give your character the option of changing their profession in midlife. When you change class, you are entering the new class as a level 1 character. Therefore, changing class has the following side effects. Your character statistics drop to the minimum of your race. Your experience points drop to 0. All your equipment will remain in your possession, but your items will be unequipped. Since you are changing classes, you may not be able to use them anymore. You will retain knowledge of any spells you already know, and you always get 1 spell point per level in your spell books. However, you lose the extra spell points you got for being a member of your previous class. Though you may learn new spells and get new bonuses for being a member of your new classes, it is likely that at least at first you will have fewer spell points to work with. If you know at least 1 spell of a particular type and level, then you will eventually learn all the spells of that type and level, even if your new class doesn't learn spells of that type. So example, if you change a mage into a ninja and the mage knew the 3rd level mage spell Mahalito, then the ninja would eventually learn Molito, the other 3rd level mage spell. Then we got Gilgamesh's Tavern. Gilgamesh's is where you assemble your party. Enter the tavern by, in the castle menu. Gilgamesh's menu provides you with several options. Add lets you add characters to your party. You will be shown a list of all the characters compatible with other members, if any, of your party. You can select one by pressing the letter associated with the character, or just point and click. Hello, viewers. How are y'all doing today? I'm just perusing through the manual right now. For the PC version, since the SNES version that I'm using doesn't have a manual in English. So it's roughly the same with a few differences. I'm doing all right. I'm just kind of buzzing through this real quick, and Wednesday night I'm going to be playing the Super Nintendo version of Wizardry 1, which was a Japanese release. I found a translator for it, so I'm going to be playing that Wednesday night. And tonight, I forgot what I'm playing tonight, but I'll look it up real quick. Let's see. Inspect lets you look at the current status of your character. This option is extensively described on others' pages. Remember, when you see a hashtag wizard, expects you to type a number, not the actual number key. Oh, okay. Oh, that comes in handy. Inspecting a character. Yeah, we already know about inspecting a character, and that's what the player sheet looks like. Still looks like, from what I understand in the SNES version. Pretty much everything we know. Yeah, it's going to be the THACO version of everything. Yeah. I pretty much know all of this anyway. I'm just brushing up now at this point. Baltex Trading Post, buying items. Yeah, it's pretty much self-explanatory with a Nintendo controller, but pooling gold. Temple of Cant, that's where you go resurrect. Okay, and here's the prices for the inn. Stables are free, but you don't get any hit points. Uh, Barracks, you get 1 hit point back, but you have to pay 10 gold. Double occupancy, you pay 3, or you get 3 hit points plus, but you have to pay 50. Private room is 7 hit points, but you have to pay 200. Royal suite, you get 10 hit points back, but you have to pay 500. But a little trick I know is if you have a priest and he has some of his healing spells, just count up his healing and he can heal everybody up, then you just stay at the stables. Nice little cheat there. It's a little longer to do, but it's a nice little cheat. Adventures in Mordor Chrome. Oh, Mordor charge accepted. Okay, edge of town. This is where you build all your characters and stuff. Okay, where are the spells at? Cool picture. Camp, yeah. I pretty much know all this stuff already, but touring the maze. Oh, here it mentions graffiti. As you travel through the maze, you'll occasionally find unusual markings. These may represent stairs upward and downward, special passageways you might want to explore, messages scrawled on walls, and dark areas into which you cannot see. Oh, and it even tells you how to do the mapping. And it basically tells you that it's going to be a 20 by 20 grid, and the word concept is rather loosely used here because the authors have done everything they can to misguide and misdirect you into believing that you are seeing what you see on the grid is not real. And then it's the slow process of taking the step, draw a map, take a step, draw the map. Okay, map aids. Death, doom, destruction. Okay, we already know combat. I already know how the combat works. Where the hell are the spells at? Damn. Okay. Lock picking. Creating your team. Assembling your party. Smart consumer. Steps in combat. Pretty much I know all this stuff already and I can explain it as we go along on the game. There we go. Spells. Finally. Sheesh. Okay. Yeah, fortunately, they don't go too crazy with the spells. It's just a couple of pages. But what I intend on doing, and I'm going to do this later, is I'm actually going to write down all the spells so I actually know what they are because, yeah, they got the word, but I don't think the game tells you what the word means. So, yeah, I'm going to definitely write all this down or at least find a printout of it somewhere. Okay, yeah. What too? Because that's a cheap joke. Priest. Yeah, and you only got two sets of spells, which is priest and mage. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of this because a lot of it has nothing to do with the SNES version, but I just wanted to get some of the fine points out. Okay, so here I'll just go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. And my dad just woke up, so I went to go get him some coffee. Okay, so as a reminder, this is a Japanese version that's been translated into English, so there might be a little kinks here and there. And again, for some reason, Legacy of Logamin and the Knight of Diamonds are in a different order than the PC version. No clue why, but whatever. And I changed all the translations so it's in English. Okay, edge of town. Okay, we're starting out party, training grounds. Okay, I'm just going to do basic right now just to see how the creation works. Create this character, yes. And of course we got human, elf, dwarf, gnome, and hobbit. Which is going to be good, of course. We're gonna make a fighter out of this one. There we go. Keep this character, yes. Create one. Create this character, yes. And this one's going to be a dwarf. Good. And this one's also going to be a fighter, but I'm going to kind of build him up to where he's at least ready to be a lord. So fighter, keep this character, yes. Okay, create, 2. And these are only temporary characters while I'm test running this. Okay, create this character, yes. And also human, good. I don't know. Character, yes. Create. 3. Oop. Create this character, yes. And this one's going to be a hobbit. I screwed up. Yeah, we still got some of it in Japanese. Yeah. No. Create. Yeah, I screwed up on that because he has to be neutral. And now we can make him as a thief. There we go. Thief. Yes. Create. Now we're going to make our mages. Well, actually, we can make a bishop here. I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, I skipped out on a number. I realized I messed up by not clicking on 4. Keep this character. And this one is also going to be an elf. Good. Okay, now we, wow. Now we go to Gilgamesh's town. I like this music a lot better than the NES version, that's for sure. Because the NES version was actually hard on my ears. Because I was going to play that initially of Proving Grounds was the the NES version. But I couldn't get past the music because it was so jarring and caused my ears to hurt. Okay. Okay, go to Baltex. Okay. I'm really not going to get into it too heavily on the stuff. I just want to get it. You know, I just want to see the maze, and then I'm going to call it a day. Entering the Proving Grounds. Okay, inspect. Hmm. Well, it gives a large footstep, and I was supposed to be able to. I probably switched it around somewhere, so I'll probably have to check it out and see later. But yeah, I got it on lines. I don't want lines. I wanted the color stuff, but I can fix that later. Anyways, you guys take care. This is Dave on CRPG Dungeons and Dragons Night, and we'll definitely be playing this Wednesday. You guys take care. Bye bye.